So the topic is secret behind writing a spec, and I choose it as secret because we all know it, but it is still a secret. There is a code that people know what they do. Frequently, they know why they do what they do, but they don't know they don't know what they do does. So I'm just going to brief this same code and this secret. It's not secret, but it's assumed to be a secret. So let's take this scenario. I think most of us come through this same scenario. And previously, when when I was junior developer working at the same time, we used to do most of the time we used to do code, just start coding. If a feature is assigned, we start coding, and then okay, the feature is done. Then let's deploy it to the staging afterwards, and we do that. And so doing that, yeah, the feature is in the production, and now the things go bad after some time when we start testing it, trying it. Let's say I'm the client. I'm going. Recently, the team has developed a feature, and now I'm going to use that. When they start using some type of FBR, and what we do at that time, we just that's about, let's patch that. And when we start patching that bug, the patch itself may contain some type of bug. So let's again patch that. Patch and patch and patch. And deploy that. And again we deploy that. That is the scenario I actually want us, all of us, to know what this actually means. So fast. Okay. So what's wrong with the above scenario? So anyone wants to try? What's wrong with the above scenario? That's the last picture we just explained.
There is no TV. It's doing it. It's not inside.
What's it? Time body lesson. Okay. Any more?
Consequent sentence. Volume. Visible sentence. Volume.
Okay. So what's wrong with the above scenario? So before moving more ahead with the above, what's wrong with the above scenario? I just want to say why we do this. Why we do this? So I think most of the company, as well as in the product company itself, what we do is that we have some sort of budget. That is, let's say, the client gives us fixed budget and interval of time. That is fixed deadline, and we have to do that all this stuff in that time as well as in the budget. But since the budget may be low at that time, what do we think that why not start doing code itself? Why should we elongate the time frame too long and to test and all those QA and all those stuff? So just code and deploy it to the production so that client can start testing. So there is fixed budget as well as lack of time, and since client has given you a schedule, that is a deadline, so that is time deadline. As well as if you are playing with the old code base, so you don't like to make changes, anything, that's what others feature. And next thing is that I know how to write code. Why should I spend learning other framework, other like aspect, other testing framework? I know I write codes. I can send this code to the production and it's work fine. So why should I spend time on learning those? Next thing is that as we know, if we are writing a spec, then we know that setting up a spec that is fine. Initial spec is take too long. We have to set up everything from if we know aspect, then we have to aspect factorial, then we have to do right factorial and all those stuff. So why should I spend that much time? Because we write 5 lines of code, and for that we have to write almost 20 lines of test scenarios. So, what will happen if I don't write a spec? So your code base will be only production code, only contains production code, and the logic get concentrated. Since logic get concentrated, so in future, it's hard time for any developer to refactor, and it leads to the burst factor. So burst factor, anyone new with this word? So Anita, what do you mean by burst factor?
So burst factor
Okay. I'll explain that. Yes, I'll explain that. So, burst factor means that I am the sole person who knows that thing. There is no other person who knows more than me, because the things everything get concentrated to me. That means burst factor. That's everything is dependent to me. If I don't do that, other can do that. Other have to learn more and do the things. So that means burst factor. And next thing is that if I don't write a spec, so a minor change. Let's say we are developing a feature A, and there is other feature that's called XYZ, and those features, the code which I am just writing, are dependent with XYZ. That at that time, this minor code may break this feature XYZ. So at that time, we have to face hard time if we don't write a spec. Next thing that almost all company start needs developer, because the developer goes this flows goes continues. So at that time, when it's hard for any team or any developer, any team or any company to onboard a new developer if that the project which he or she is assigned does not have that documentation and the spec. It's hard for any, let's say if we are going to hire a software engineer or more, let's say a developer with experience more than 2 years, and there is no documentation, there is no spec, then at that time what will happen? That guy had to face a hard time to learn the code base and all those stuff. So if I write a spec, then it would be easy for us to onboard a new developer. So after effect of above scenario, so given you to perform all the tests for minor change, let's take an example. I make a change that is if use logic. That's my name is Chandra and his name is Kapil. So I just reverse the code. Client asked me to reverse. Let's say your name is Kapil and his name is Chandra. And we just as a developer, I just reverse the code. And that time, if I deploy the code, at that time, if there is no test, then what will happen? You have to make a whole round of tests for that simple stuff. And there is more chance of being our production buggy. Project goes out of budget as earlier system. And it's also delay the release cycle. So how can we prevent this? So it's a simple hack, but we all know it's all about simply writing a spec for your production code. You should write a spec for your production code to avoid those situations. So here I have listed to why should we write a spec. So one of the best benefits of writing a spec is that it provides you the documentation of what you do, what the code base you do. So our next thing is that it identifies the dependent bug is here. As I told earlier, that I was developing a feature A and it was dependent to the feature X, Y, Z. So this was dependent, and if I wanted to change the code base of A, then there is maximum chance that dependent feature will fail. But if I write a spec, then those failure can be easily identified. And next thing is that it is easy to know unknown. While developing a feature, most of the time we do brainstorming and we just do all of checklist. But still, few things get missed, those unknowns. So when we write a spec, as we said, when we follow TDD or BDD, at that time we just start drafting scenarios. So during drafting scenarios, what we do that we come up with different mindset and think that what will happen if this goes wrong, and all those scenarios. And there is probable chance that those unknown get identified. So next thing is that easy to upgrade technical stuff. Recently, what in Cloud Factory we found that we have to upgrade one of our technology, that is Rails from Rails 3 to 4. And as you know that Rails 3 and Rails 4.2 they are totally different. So at the time we have to press pattern, we have to roll back twice. But thanks God we do have a spec for all those. So we are safe. And the third time we were successful doing that. So if we have a spec, then it will be easy for us to upgrade any technology, either it's Ruby or Rails or any other gems. If we are a Ruby developer, then that's for that. And if we are other JavaScript and all those, then the same things goes true for that also. Next thing is that there will be less burden while testing feature by QA. So QA don't have to take burden of testing those small chunk which we just fixed. So there will be quick development cycle time, as well as a developer you will be focusing on what you actually focusing on your feature and the code base. You want to make that code more quality, bring more quality to that code base. And as a QA, if I am QA, then I will be more focused on finding the unknown bugs, that is edge case scenario. I'll be testing edge case scenario and making that feature more perfect. And the release cycle will be fast. Let's take the scenario previously where when you are not writing a spec, then at that time your release cycle was a month. That is, in every month you were just releasing your feature. But after that, if everything is placed, that is, if your test coverage contains code, your code contains test coverage, then your release cycle can go from 1 month to 1 sprint, that is 2 weeks. So we have praised a lot about writing a spec. So before we start doing this, grabbing this benefit, we need to follow your protocols. So I think we must be guessing what that protocol means, right? What this protocol is. So it's simple. There is not hard and fast rule, but it is simple. The protocol is first you need to know how to write better spec. So to write better spec, there is you can go to betterspec.org where you can find all different scenarios and different way of writing a spec. How you can write good spec. Next thing, don't write a spec for just your team leader or the company say that write a spec. Write a spec in a right manner that catches the ball easily. So next thing is that write both happy scenario and sad scenario. So we all want to write happy scenario because it's easy to write happy scenario. So in my early days, we said that we used team leaders said that we should have to write a spec. Okay, I used to write a spec, but at that time I used to write happy text because it's easy to make it green and yeah, it's content scenarios, but yeah, those were happy text and sometimes if code changes that still that spec will be. So I will suggest not to write those spec. If you write those spec, then that's not the quality spec, and you can't find the best thing out of that. So try to include sad scenarios. Sad scenarios means you need to dig more and find out the edge case scenario for writing those tests. Next thing is that you should have to follow either TDD or BDD. I'll suggest going through TDD because TDD, when we follow TDD, at that time we can dig more and find the lots of unknown from there. But let's say if you have done time, if your budget is low and if you have deadline coming, then I'll suggest better going through BDD because here you can write, at least here you can write the spec for the feature which you are going to deliver. So now the next scenario. Now I have written all the code. I have written all the spec, and now while writing a spec, the first I cover all the scenarios, and then I write code. So everything is done. Good. So let's deploy the code to the production. So after I deploy the code to the production, so there is less chance of having bug in the production. So So get relaxed, and if you like playing Pokemon, then go and catch Pokemon. Because like earlier, you don't have bug which you have to catch. So go and catch those Pokemons. So outcome of writing a spec and following the best practices is that you can easily automate your development environment, that is development testing and production. You can easily integrate continuous integration, that is CI. Other is continuous delivery. Next thing is that if you write a spec, then you have a whole set of documentation for your code. And as a new developer, if I comes to your company or you comes to my company, then it will be easy for you to start a new feature. So now what? I think we all know the secret than us. So if we have a new feature, then let's just start writing a spec. And I'll suggest better follow TDD. And next thing is that if you have everything in place, and if you are asked to write, if you are asked to do a feature, then write a spec for that and do the continuous improvement to the code base as well as to the test suite. But if you have a legacy code that, let's say, if you are working with a client and they do have their own code base developed by some unknown developers, those who you don't know, and then for those you are asked to write some feature or fixes, then try to add a spec for the feature which you do. If you don't like to spec, if you don't try to add a spec for others one code base, but you can write a spec for your own. And next is that try to, if you are going to attach with that client, then at least try to follow BTD with that project and write a separate test for that. If you follow these 3 rules, then there is maximum chance that you will get more out of that. So that's all. Thank you. And if you have any questions, please let me know. Any questions?